Hello and welcome to the next Functional Skills English online video lesson. So today we are looking at, continue looking at functional skills reading, and we're looking at how to compare texts. It's obviously a key skill in the functional skills reading exam. Okay, so your aims are to identify and discuss the TAP and some different texts. To be able to find relevant quotations in a text to support your ideas, and also to be able to use linking words to show similarities and differences between these texts. Okay, so to start with, just a quick opening activity to spot the errors. So here are three different real life signs with some sort of either spelling or punctuation mistake in them. So the first one for Dunkin' Donuts. We're opening at 3 AM on Black Friday. Next one, please no dogs, we were afraid of the goats. And when it's gone, it's gone. But don't despair, gorgeous labels are delivered daily. So I just want to pause the video for a couple of minutes, see if you can correct the mistakes in each of these signs. Okay, so first one should be we are opening at 3 AM. So it's the missing apostrophe here. The original meaning means were opening, so in the past. So they were opening, but they're not anymore. So obviously it's important to get the punctuation right there. The second one, please no dogs, we're afraid the goats. I've been a little bit confused by this one. I think it's the idea is no dogs allowed, we're afraid, i.e. we are sorry. I'm not quite sure whether that means the goats wrote the sign, who knows. Okay, and the last one, again, when it's gone, it's gone. So it's using the it is apostrophe there. Okay, so another start activity here, looking at linking words. So connectors, linking words, conjunctions, all the same thing for those words that link to ideas. Okay, show some sort of relationship between ideas in a sentence or a paragraph. Okay, so I'm going to show you 4 sentences and give you some linking words to choose from. Okay, so again, just want you to pause the video in a moment and fill in the gap. So which word there fits best? Obviously, there's more than you need because there's 5 linking words and only 4 sentences. So she does her best at work. Most of her workmates are very lazy. Taxes have gone up every year. Our salaries have gone down. The position you applied for has been filled. We're going to keep your CV for future reference. He looked into moving to Italy. He wanted to learn a language. Okay, so it's thinking about what is the connection between the first part and the second part of that sentence. So like I said, pause the video. You take 3-4 minutes, write these sentences out in your book, put the linking word in correctly. Okay, so now you've done that, we're just going to go through. So the first one, she does her best at work, whereas most of her workmates are very lazy. So here, whereas, kind of to show a contrast. He could have used although, okay, although most of her workmates are very lazy, but I think whereas shows more of a contrast between a positive and a negative here. Okay, next one. Taxes have gone up every year. Also, our salaries have gone down. Okay, so here it's like adding information. So it's like another negative thing here. So have to pay more taxes, but your wages have gone down. Okay, or haven't gone up. Okay, so 2 negatives there. So the use of the word also kind of implies that it's another negative thing. Although the position you applied for has been filled, we're going to keep your CV for future reference. So here, although is used to again show a contrast, but here it's like a positive and a negative. So that's the slight difference with whereas. Okay, so although it's been filled, they're going to keep your CV for future reference, which obviously is a positive thing. And the last one, he looked and moved to Italy because he wanted to learn the language. Okay, so here, obviously that's the reason given why he wanted to move to Italy. Okay. So again, with this one, you can, just to make you aware, you can move those parts of the sentence around. So it could be because he wants to learn the language, comma, he looks into moving to Italy, full stop. Okay, so that, just to be aware of that one. Okay, so again, the other advantage of this one, of using these linking words, not only does it show the connection between two parts of the sentences, it also shows that your writing's a little bit more complex, a little bit more fluent than otherwise. Okay, so if you don't use linking words, your sentences are all going to be very simple, quite a little bit boring. Okay, so it's really important to use to know how to use those. Okay. So, okay, so what we're looking at is getting information from two or more texts. So in the exam, you'll have 3 different texts to get to read. Sometimes you'll be asking to look at 2 specific texts. Sometimes you might even need to get the same information from 3 of the texts. It is a difficult skill to do, and it is the last few questions in the exam. But it's really important, so especially at level 2, there are lots of points available, lots of marks available for these questions where you're getting information from 2 texts, synthesizing, comparing, contrasting. Okay, so it's a bit more complex than that, but basically it's about you being able to identify similarities between the texts, both in terms of content and approach, and also differences between the texts, about what they say and what they do. And read the question carefully. Okay, it's really important that you know whether you're looking for something similar or something different. You need to know exactly what aspect of the theme you'll be looking for, and also to make sure, like I said, sometimes it's 2 texts, sometimes it's all 3 texts. So you need to know which text you're looking for. What you don't want to do is look for the wrong information from the wrong text. Okay, so to start with, we're going to start with 2 shorter texts, then we're going to look at 3 exam style texts and think how you can approach that in the same way. So these are both kind of giving advice about revising for your exams. So text A, as you can see there, has 2 bits of information. Take care of yourself. You'll find you work better if you eat well, drink lots of water and get enough sleep. It's important not to push yourself too hard. It won't do you a lot of good if you get too stressed, as your brain won't take in very much. And then do active revision. Just reading your notes won't help you learn them. Try preparing flashcards with the main topics, keywords, dates and diagrams to use as a prompt. Keep them with you so you can do a bit of revision wherever you are, on the bus or the train or in a cafe while waiting for friends. Obviously this was written before lockdown because you won't be waiting for friends in a cafe at the moment. And then text B, again also about giving advice, how to revise for exams. So make sure you know which topics you need to revise for each subject. Use your exam board specification as a revision list. Make a revision active, don't just read notes. You can make flashcards, mind maps, or use post-it notes. Watching videos online can really help to bring your notes alive. Test yourself by completing past papers or asking a friend to test you. This will identify areas of strength and weakness. Build in rewards for your revision, e.g. your favourite snack or using social media. Keep yourself weighing. Don't overdo it and make sure you look after your physical health and get plenty of sleep. Okay, so what I want you to do is pause the video, and I want you to identify 2 things that the texts have in common. Okay, so 2 ideas which are similar in both text A and text B. Okay, so quite a straightforward task. Okay, so identify 2 things that the texts have in common. So pause the video, look at both of these texts, okay, and then we'll come back and see if you've got the same ideas as me. Okay, so hopefully you've got similar ideas now. Okay, so if we, like I said, identify 2 ideas text A and text B have in common on how to revise for exams. So the way to organise it, they both talk about the importance of sleep. Okay, so that's the idea in common, and you've got a quotation from text A that tells you, text A says you work better if you get enough sleep. Text B says get plenty of sleep. So for level 2, you get 1 mark for identifying the idea in common, and then 2 more marks for saying 1 quotation from text A, another quotation from text B. Another in common, they both talk about using flashcards. Text A says try playing flashcards with the main topics. Text B says you can make flashcards. And that's as straightforward as it is. Okay, so although it might look complicated getting ideas from two texts, it's actually really straightforward. Okay, so what we're going to look at now is working with multiple texts and looking at more of an exam style question. Okay, so you have three texts talking about the plot to put up the Houses of Parliament. Okay, so a couple of weeks out of date, obviously that was on the 5th of November, it took place in the 17th century. So again, although the texts cover the same subject matter, the way in which the information ideas are presented will vary due to the form, audience and purpose of each text. So this is the same for the exam itself. So the subject matter will be the same in the three texts. So it might be something about school, it might be something about hobbies, it might be something about social media, okay? But the content, the approach will be different. Okay, so what I want you to do now, okay, so if I show you where this, so on Moodle, okay, you've got the text there, you've got the questions, and you've got the three, and you've got the PowerPoint as well. Okay, so if we go back to the PowerPoint, okay, so what I want you to do is think so open up the three texts, okay, and think what type of text is it, okay, where might the text come from, who is the audience for it, what is the purpose. Okay, so if you do this first of all, it'll help you understand what each text is like and how each text is different. Okay, so if I build, here we go, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, so if we look at text A, hopefully, just show you what I mean. So they're all there, text A. Okay, so Britain's first terrorists. What was gunpowder plot of 1605 and why did Guy Fawkes? Okay, so if we were looking at this one, so the text, okay, if I just, there we go, that's easier. Okay, so the text is from a newspaper, so you can talk, it's a newspaper article. Okay. Audience, well, what do you think? What's the audience for? So, newspaper readers, okay. What is the purpose? So for this one, I would say purpose is to give information. Yep, give information about the gunpowder plot. Okay, so pause the video here, go back and do the same with text B and C. Okay, so text A we've gone through, hopefully done that. So text 2, text B. Okay, so this is taken from Wikipedia. Okay, so it's a web page article. So again, I would say the purpose is the same as the first one. So it's purely to give information. Yeah. And the audience, again, maybe people are historians, people a bit more interested. So if you think, one difference between text A and text B, maybe text A is people that don't know very much about it. Yeah, just information. Yeah, a little bit of description. There's this one's maybe a little bit more of historical ideas about it. Okay, and then text C. What was the gunpowder plot? Okay, so this one, hopefully you can see that this is from, I would guess, a educational book, children's educational book, probably primary school. Okay, so the audience would be children, school-age children, primary school-age children. Okay, to maybe entertain and to educate, isn't it, really? Okay, so one way you know the difference just think about, so if you look at text B and text C, obviously the way they're laid out. So this is text only, yeah. Okay, it's very small text. If you look at the vocabulary, absolute confidentiality, convicted of treason, anonymous letter. Okay, whereas this one, much more simple language. This plan is known as the gunpowder plot. Yeah, you've got the use of images, text boxes, words in bold, yeah, highlighted to show that stand out. Okay, obviously, although these are highlighted, these are actually just hyperlinks. So you click on that, it would take you to another page. Okay, so that's always useful. Okay, so what we're going to finish with, okay, is you working through the answers. Okay, so there's obviously quite a lot of answers here. Okay, so what I will want you to do is once you work through the answers, keep that and show that to your teacher for next time. Okay, we're not going to go through all the answers on this video because that would take quite a lot of time. Okay, but what we will do very quickly once the Word document has loaded up is be able to show you what the answers are, what the questions are, and kind of just recap of how to approach these different questions. So obviously the idea is this builds up to your exam, which is coming up in a couple of weeks' time. If I can get the Word document open. Okay, so like I said here, so here there's a mixture of questions here, which are some are just looking at one text on its own. Okay, so hopefully, this is the sort of thing that you're familiar with. Okay, so so again, so those first questions, it's really about kind of helping you, getting used to looking at different texts. Okay, so we're not going to go through all of those. Obviously, I still want you to go through those, but just to kind of look at what questions. So like I said, so these are the questions which are at towards the end of the exam paper. Okay, so compare similar ideas from text A and text B, which explain how the gunpowder plot was devised. So give two similarities and one quotation to support each similarity. Okay, so remember, like we did with the text about revision, yeah. So you had what the similarity was and the quotation of each text to support that similarity. So here, you need to make sure you know what the word devised means. Okay, so devised means how it was thought up, how it was kind of planned, basically. Okay, so make sure you do remember that. Okay, so just because obviously that's quite a technical word. So in the exam, you will have a dictionary available. So if you do not know one of the words in the questions, please look it up, because otherwise, if you thought devised meant how it was carried out or how it was discovered, yeah, then you would get the wrong information. So it's really important that you read and understand those questions. Okay, and then this one, I haven't covered this one yet. So this is text B and text C. Okay, so they use web links, do they use rhetorical questions, direct address, do they use facts, which statement is correct? Okay, and then at question 11, your friend wants more information about Guy Fawkes. Identify one piece of information about Guy Fawkes from each text. Okay, so 3 points for that one, 4 for that one, and then 6 points available for question 9. So as you can see, so these questions has 10 marks available, which is nearly, between a quarter and a third of the marks available for the whole exam. So it's really important that you do know and practice these exam questions where you're comparing ideas. Okay, so that's it there. So what I want you to do now is spend the rest of the lesson, rest of the time, going through all of these questions. Okay, obviously paying particular attention to questions 9, 10 and 11. Okay, and like I said, show that to your teacher and they'll go through it with you next time. Okay, so thank you very much for listening. Hope you enjoyed it and see you again soon. Thanks. Bye.